Hey everybody, Great Boomer here.
Darth Bolas.
We're going to talk a little bit about the band restricted announcement that came out today.
For modern
Format that we are starting to get into a little bit more. I watched quite a bit of it and trying to play. We have our own decks here, getting that going.
We both dodged a bullet.
We dodged the bullet because we like the deck. Too bad. We like the playthrough, but it is a broken deck. The deck that got hit was KCI. What is KCI?
So KCI stands for Crack Clan Ironworks, the namesake of the deck. It is a artifact for CMC, all colorless, and it has one effect. Sack an artifact, add 2 colors mana to your mana.
Hold on. Flavor text.
Oh.
All the junk, refuse, and offal of the Crack Clan is diligently collected, melted down, and made into more junk, refuse, and offal. So junk is more junk. Now the card is junked.
Good thing, Commander players, look out for this card because it's very important for a lot of your artifact decks. It's probably going to go down in price.
Yep. Had a big price recently with all the modern tournaments that it's been winning. Let's talk about the deck. Crack Clan Ironworks. What does it do? Whole lot of nothing into a whole lot of something.
Yeah.
It plays a bunch of cantrippy artifacts, and then it gets out Mirror Retriever, and it gets out Scrap Trawler, and it wins by, I think it's the Pyretic Bomb, the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Some bomb that does 1 damage that they can cycle. So what happens is, once you get Mirror Retriever and your recycling artifacts, like a Mox Opal, zero-costed engineered explosives, it sacks those to gain mana, then it sacks Mirror Retriever and Scrap Trawler, and with the triggers on the stack, you can get back both plus the 0 cost, and then it continues to cycle. And what happens is you keep getting that, you get almost infinite mana, and you cycle through your deck until you find your win condition, and then all of a sudden you're just cycling your big Mind Stones, your other things to get back the bomb and just do 1 damage at a time. It takes forever. It's not played on Moto very often because you almost time yourself out every time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a deck to be played there, but in person it's actually played because you don't have a individual chess timer clock type thing.
Right.
So it's not eating down on your time. Broken. It doesn't necessarily do anything illegal or didn't, but it did abuse the mechanics of being able to, in between triggers, activate a mana ability, and then thus creating another trigger, getting those things back.
Yeah.
So what happens is you sacrifice Scrap Trawler first, and while it triggers on the stack, because you can get back artifact that seems here less from your graveyard, Scrap Trawler goes to the graveyard. While that triggers on the stack, you then pay 2 mana. You sack your Mirror Retriever. Mirror Retriever goes to the graveyard, and now with a Mirror Retriever trigger, you get back your Scrap Trawler. You get back your Scrap Trawler, and with your Scrap Trawler trigger, you get back your Mirror Retriever. Broken.
Loop. Lots of mana.
Lots of mana, exactly. However, it does say it takes 5, but that's why you get your 0 cost rocks too, because then you cycling those and you're gaining mana, and your 1 mana artifact like Star, Chromatic Star.
Chromatic Star.
Gets you, and you cycle that. You draw a card. You get it's broken. It's the reason why it's banned is not because of how broken just that interaction is. It's how resilient the deck is.
Yeah.
You can destroy anything almost. You can play an overloaded. What's the card?
Vandal Blast.
Vandal Blast overload, destroy all their objects. Great. They sack them. Guess what? They get them all back, and then you've done nothing. It doesn't hurt the deck at all. If you have something that hurts it, for example, like a Surgical Extraction on their Crack Clan Ironworks, right?
Yep.
They now go into another card here that came out standard in M19, Psymaster Thopterus, which is a fantastic card. Nothing wrong or broken with him. It's just when you cast an artifact, make a 1/1 Thopter. And you pay 1 in blue, sacrifice 2 artifacts, draw a card. That is usually played 1 main board now in that deck. And then it starts looping. You either go by infinite with the damage, or you go build a billion Thopters and hit them in the face. There's really nothing to do.
Yeah, it's way too resilient, way too consistent.
Yeah.
So they decided to take it out instead of making cards to go against it. Just get rid of KCI.
And it fixes it. And does it? Mox Opal's not overpowered. It is a powerful magic card. It's okay.
Yeah.
Psymaster Thopter is not overpowered. It is a good magic card. Neither is Mirror Retriever or Scrap Trawler. Those are not overpowered, but when you do it, the thing that makes this deck like that is the Crack Clan Ironworks.
Yep.
If that card wasn't there, this deck wouldn't be here. This deck used to just be Kirk Clan Ironworks, get a bunch of cheap artifacts, sacrifice them into trying to get an Ulamog, or try to get an Embercool or something, which is it is a way to win. But not this deck anymore because that's not as consistent. How you build consistency in this deck is in the draw, and when you're sacrificing your artifacts, it won't say when they die you draw a card, right?
Yeah.
And then you made a consistent deck. This deck can turn 3, which is modern. There's plenty of decks that can turn 3. There's decks that can turn 2. This deck can consistently turn 3 or 4 you, consistently, and that's the problem. Yeah, that's really all I have to say. I mean, good job, Wizards. Thanks for banning it.
Yeah, so glad I didn't choose to do this deck.
Yep.
So I don't know. It'll be sad to see it go, because I think it's almost beautiful in the way that it plays itself out. But I like that now we get to see what other decks are out there.
Yep. All right. Well, for Great Boomer,
Darth Bolas.
see you later.